Hello, YouTubers, fellow hams, RVers, anybody else that happens to be watching. Well, the response to the Thoughts on the Road vlog series, where I just talk about my trip, has been positive on the most part. A lot of people enjoy this. They like me talking about the trip, what I've been, where I've been, what I'm seeing, all that, some of the photos that I show. And yeah, I'm going to try to do one every month or every other month, I think. And this is May 2019. I'm in the desert outside of Kingman, Arizona. Kingman's a nice town. It's right along historic Route 66. And it's big enough to have all the stores you could want, you know, Great Clips and Walmart and Smith's, and there's like 2 or 3 hardware stores, you know, and it's a big enough town. And we're about 5 miles maybe outside of the city center, so good spot. I'm staying on a plot of land owned by another ham I met down around Yuma. Thanks, Tony. It's a nice little spot. I don't know, what is it, a couple acres or an acre, a couple acres, something like that. And he's got a sewer in, it's sewer cistern or whatever, septic tank, whatever you call it. And there's a water depot nearby, and he's got a 500-gallon tank, so we can drive down and fill the tank and have water. And there's AC power here. And he's up in Michigan, I think, this summer. And he's given permission to myself and James to park here over the summer if we want. And I kind of plan on doing that, although I'm hearing that July and August gets kind of rough around here. Monsoon season. Even though this is the desert, late summer is the rainy season, and they talk about big storms that come through here. Phoenix, Arizona gets Habib's, big dust storms. If you search YouTube for a dust storm in Phoenix, you'll find videos with unbelievable imagery of these massive, massive clouds of dust just coming down across the mountains, a wall of dust with heavy winds that just slam into the city, followed by rain, which turns it all to mud. So I've heard talk from locals and people that have lived in this area that that's what happens here in July and August. And I don't know, up here on the hill overlooking the city, it gets windy. It gets pretty darn windy. Yesterday or the day before yesterday, I think it was, yeah. It was seriously windy. 30 plus mile an hour steady winds with gusts as high as 50. And I had the antennas up. I put a little bracket up on my PVC pipe up on the back of the RV, the pipe that I usually put the telescoping masts in. Well, I had a failure on one of the masts. I had a little 16-foot telescoping mast that my neighbor back in Fort Wayne had gotten for me, was thrown out by a fast food restaurant. It was one of those masts they put banners on, you know, and I've been using it since, for years. I've been using it 3 or 4 years now. I love that little mast. I first did a video on it called a quick and easy field antenna, where I had an end fed, a 9-to-1 fed set up with that, the coax as a counterpoise for a QRP antenna, and it worked great on 20 meters and up in the field. On the back of the RV here, with the 9-to-1 and the counterpoise running down the roof line, I was able to use it on 40 meters and up, and it would work okay on 40, but pretty well on 20 meters and up. Well, I had the folded dipole hung on it, and it held the weight of the dipole okay, but it got windy, and the wind was broadside to the dipole, which put an awful lot of load, shear force against that mast, and it was not made of quality material. I mean, it was a cheap sign mast for fast food restaurants to put a banner up for a few weeks. It wasn't really made to last. And it gave out. It broke in the middle. It was fiberglass reinforced paper. It was not built out of a great material, and in fact, it was going to fail eventually anyway. Where the joints were, where it slides into itself, those were wearing through. So it wasn't going to last much longer anyway. But it broke, and so I needed a way to put a quick vertical up there. And I had the chameleon antenna whips. They're really nice whips. So I made a little metal bracket, mounted it on the PVC, and I can quickly and easily put one of the chameleon whips up there when I park. So I can park and throw the whips up there, even with the extension, and be on the air in 2 or 3 minutes. So that solves that problem. I've still got the PVC, and I've still got the MFJ 33-foot mast, which I can put up in that PVC cup if I want to put up the tall vertical. So there's still that option. But anyhow, yes, I had the chameleon whip up, and I had the dipole up out back. Tony, the guy who owns this property, has a bunch of stuff here, and I found 4 5-foot steel mast sections. So I pounded a fence post into the ground and clamped one of those to that. And I put up a 20-foot mast that has a pulley at the top, so I can pull up antenna experiments. And I've got the folded dipole up there now. And here's some video clips of the antennas whipping away in the wind. You can see how windy it was, and that was early morning, and it got windier in the afternoon. It really got windy as the front came through. And it's looking like this week it's going to get cold, surprisingly. Kingman, Arizona, southwestern Arizona. It's normally quite hot here this time of year, according to everybody that lives around here. It's normally hitting 90s regularly and getting close to 100 by now. But this week, the highs are going to be around 60, and the lows are going to be around 40. Now, those are Fahrenheit, but believe me, that's cold. Real chilly. And I've been thinking about going off by myself away from the city, civilization, and people for a little while. Just a little hiatus from everything anyway. And I'd found some BLM land around here I was going to do that at. But now I'm looking at the weather for this week, and it's an entire week, all the way through from Monday through to Monday of next week. It's just going to be chilly and windy here. Miserable. So, hey, I'm in a mobile home, right? M is for mobile. Looking at the weather down around Quartzsite, it's going to be in the 80s and down to about the upper 50s at night. So I'm thinking that that's where I'm going to go this week. I'm going to pack up today, and I might even drive down yet today or tomorrow morning, although it's going to storm tomorrow as that second front comes through. So I'm probably going to go offline for a week. Go off by myself, a little hiatus from everything. Just disconnect, think, enjoy the sunsets, enjoy nature, take a lot of walks, and just relax for a little while. That doesn't mean I won't shoot a video. I have a loop experiment to do with the chameleon magnetic loop that I just modified the box of. I have a longer length of coax than what they provide that was given to me by Al back in Rockport, Texas. And I've been wanting to use that and make the outer loop slightly bigger and see how much further down in frequency I can ease that antenna. Can I get it down to 60 meters using their coupling loop and just a larger outer loop? I want to do that experiment now that I've modified the box and I can. So I'll probably do that experiment while I'm there. So there'll be a video coming out of that. And in fact, I think it's Thursday of next week, looking at the weather down there. The winds are relatively calm. They're predicted to be about 8 miles per hour during the day, and then calming at night. And if that's the case, and it stays calm, and I'm out in that big open area without any power lines or poles, because where I'm at now there's power lines and poles, I might be able to pull off the balloon antenna experiment for 630 meters portable. Might. I'm crossing my fingers. I've been wanting to do that. Really wanting to do that. And it's just like every day. Windy, windy, windy. Or it's calm and then it gets windy. And it can change in 20 seconds. This last windstorm that we had, the morning it was completely calm. And then all of a sudden, somewhere around 8 or 9 in the morning, over the course of 15 to 20 seconds, it went from completely calm to 20 to 30 mile an hour winds. Just like somebody turned the switch on a fan, and then it was windy all day. It's just so unpredictable. So, crossing my fingers that down there, out in the big open expanse of one of the LTVAs, the long-term visitor areas, that Thursday will actually be calm, and I can get everything prepared. I mean, I've already got my feed point built. I got my 1-to-1 choke feed point here. And I'm going to put a 1 mega ohm resistor across from the antenna to ground here or across the legs. One leg will be running along the ground. The other leg will be 500 feet up on a balloon. 500 feet on the ground, 500 feet up at an angle on a balloon. So I'll put a 1 mega ohm resistor across there so that static charges that are built up on that 500-foot wire from the breeze can bleed off to the other wire that's laying on the ground and bleed off instead of causing a static voltage on the antenna. That's a problem with long antennas. Never experimented with one, so I'm looking forward to that too. So, you know, I'll probably do a couple of videos while I'm down there. The point, though, is to, one, escape the cold temperatures, which is what I've always said I would do in a mobile home. You know, if it's going to get nasty, storm systems, tornadoes coming through or whatever, or cold snaps like that, I can just drive a little ways, you know, just a couple hours south and completely escape the cold temperatures. And plus, I just want to get off by myself for a little bit, away from everything. Go offline, get away from Facebook and the social media aspect of the channel, and just, you know, zen, just relax and calm. And I need that. It's been a little mental stress lately as I've been thinking about the near future and getting through the summer. You know, I've got kind of a long-term plan. I want to make it back around to Rockport, Texas, maybe in October, you know, and spend a couple of months there visiting with Al and all the friends that I made there. And then probably December, depends on the weather in southwestern Arizona, but probably sometime in December, head back west to the Imperial Dam area and hang out with the Rat Pack, you know, all the friends that I've made there, until Quartz Fest, and actually get to Quartz Fest. Oh man, you know, there's nothing I could have done about it in January. You remember from my other video that you know, the death in the family. I had no choice, had to go up and to go home for the month of January. But this year I'm going to Quartz Fest, definitely, and I hope to hook up with several other YouTubers while I'm there. You know, I'd like to do an interview with Jerry Ellsworth, for example. She's always there. Maybe sit down and talk to Og and, you know, whoever else happens to be there. Maybe the ham radio guy will be there. Or W2AEW. I can never get his call right. I am so sorry. Love his videos, you know. Alan, that's his name, Alan, I think. Very technical videos. But, you know, I'd like to meet up with several of these guys, and I know they're going to be there. You know, just anybody who's anybody goes to Quartz Fest, so I definitely am going there in January. And then loop back up, maybe spend some time there in Quartzsite, and then who knows, you know. So that's kind of that's about as far out as I've thought, you know, ahead. So yeah, that's the plan. We'll see. I got to make it through the summer, and got to keep coming up with videos. Got a lot of suggestions from you guys on the last Thoughts on the Road video. I've made quite a list in Google Drive, and I go through that list now and then and try to figure out which one I can plan for and start building the media library and things for. You know, there's a lot of media you have to collect for a video. I've had videos with 30, 40 files of individual media in there that I have to work with for the edit. So it gets complex. So that's what's going on. The RV's working great. Everything is fine. I've only got 200 watts of solar, but it's been adequate. I haven't been starved for power. All the systems are working, the plumbing, the water systems, the holding tanks, and the propane systems. Everything's working great. Knock on wood. We'll see, you know. Yeah, so that's it. That's what's going on. You guys won't even notice a gap with me being offline for a week. Because like I said, I'll be shooting videos, and when I come back, I'll be uploading what I shot, and you won't even notice a gap, I don't think. But I need the moment to recharge. I need the time to just disconnect a little bit. I haven't really gone off on my own much since the DeSoto Forest in Mississippi. Well, I guess there was a week there in Quartzsite where I was pretty much off grid for a week, and that was kind of nice. I think I need to do that once in a while, because otherwise, all day, every day, I'm thinking about video content. I'm thinking about the channel. I'm online handling the social media side of it. That's a that's a job in and of itself. I mean, I can spend 3-4 hours of the day just going through comments, answering them, going through emails. I get so many. It's just amazing how the channel has grown. I've met with some viewers lately, which was kind of nice. 2 viewers came through the Kingman area. That was great. Had a nice lunch with them, John and Glenn. And John actually was the guy that donated the retro computers to me that I ended up trading for the KX2 that I sold to get the funds to buy the ICOM 7300 for the trip, you know. So he's the one who enabled me to have this fine, wonderful radio here in the RV. And I met him for lunch, and we had a great conversation. And Glenn was from Hawaii, and he was just here visiting relatives and came through Kingman, and we sat down and had lunch and had a nice conversation, and really enjoyed that. And Rockport, I mentioned in the NVIS antenna video talking to a guy in Rockport that managed the EOC in that area, and I heard back from him, and he said, hey, when you get back to Rockport, we'll do lunch again, and he's going to take me down to the EOC and show me their setup. And I'm like, well, hey, there's a good video. You know, we can do a tour of an emergency operations center. We can talk about the disasters that they've handled, and they've had a hurricane there, so there's probably some good stories, you know, so I'm looking forward to that. I really like meeting viewers. That's been fun. So if any of you are coming through the Kingman area this summer, as long as, you know, you'll know from the videos if I'm still there, we monitor 146.58 simplex here. And give a shout. Even up here on the hill, I can talk to somebody down in the city or going by on the interstate. So, you know, hey, if you're coming through Kingman and you want to sit down and have a bite to eat and a conversation, I'm all for it. I really enjoy that. It's great. All right, I think I've talked enough. I've talked for 17 minutes. I'm sorry. I know some of you say, oh, these videos can't be too long, but yeah, you know, it's kind of a long chat. Anyway, that's what's up. I'm heading off by myself for a week, and I'll be back, and I'll shoot some videos, and you'll be seeing a magnetic loop and antenna experiment with the chameleon loop, and hopefully, the balloon antenna experiment. I so want to do that. I want to get on 630 meters in the desert portable with a quarter wave antenna. Wouldn't that be cool? I'm excited. You know, I want to do it. I'm not putting it off. I just haven't had a day with calm winds. Got the space, got the expanse and the space, you know, and even down there in Quartzsite, there's almost no air traffic over that area too, so I don't have to worry about that. Yeah, I got to get that done. I want to do it, but I also want to see how 160 meters is if I can tune the antenna for it with the antenna tuner. That much wire up in the air, man, I could clean up on 160. We'll see. Do some whisper broadcasts on 160 with the Zactec beacon, you know. Yeah, lots of things I could do, but mostly I just want to get away from all of the noise of society and everything for a little while and just be off on my own. So, hey, if you're on the Facebook page, watch for photo posts, Patreon. I'll be posting pictures and things there the week probably. You know, I'm going to mostly stay away from it, but I'll hop into, especially for Patreon guys, I'll hop in and I'll post some updates and images. And I'm also going to try one last thing for my Patreon supporters, because you guys enable this life. Without you guys, I'm screwed. So you guys enable this life, and I greatly appreciate it. So what I'm going to be doing more of, and I've done some, and I need to do more of it, is as I'm making videos, I'll be posting updates and stills and data and images to Patreon as I'm making a video. And then, of course, they get a preview for a couple of days before it goes public. So I'm going to give you guys some more bonus content in appreciation for all you do in supporting me. Okay, that's it. I've talked for over 18 minutes. It's too long. 73 to all the hams. Safe travels to all the RVers. Best wishes to everybody else. And thanks for watching. Thanks for being there. Thanks for subscribing to my subscribers. And I hope I can keep on entertaining you over the next year. So we'll see you in the next Thoughts on the Road. Maybe not next month, maybe July. I'll do it every other month. How about that? Every other month, so it's not too often. But we'll keep you updated on how the trip's going. So, till the next video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Also, if you're not already a subscriber, click to subscribe. Join us on the Facebook channel for discussion about the videos. And if you'd like to help support this channel, please click to support me on my Patreon page.